1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Which camera, Jorge?
This one.
This one. There you go. Hey, welcome to Eventos by Jorge Rojas.
Today we are here with Roberto Guerra. He is a photographer and videographer here in Dallas.
Yes, sir.
And also he has managed the MiDia magazine. Roberto, how are you? Welcome to the podcast.
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I understand you're a little nervous today, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
I don't know. It's the cameras. It's like
it's the
the main
camera?
focus.
Let's be truthful.
No,
My Spanish is not good, right?
no. The reality is my English is like it is not fluent. So
Well, your show is predominantly in Spanish, right?
yeah, exactly.
Right. But you wanted me on the show, and I said I don't speak Spanish, man.
But
Right.
I love that you challenged me, so it's gonna be good.
You speak great English, man.
Thank
Plus,
you.
your accent is right on.
Yeah, romantic, right?
Yeah, I didn't say that.
Latino.
I didn't say all that, man.
Roberto,
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us who you are and what you do?
So I am Robert Guerra. I'm not going to tell you my age, but I am an entrepreneur. I am a photographer, videographer, publisher of MiDia magazine. We're on 4 years now. I also produce expos at venues. We also do podcast and manage media network.
Oh,
Yes,
that's so nice. So
Yes,
you're very busy right now.
Yes, sir.
How do you start? How do you get started in photography and videography?
Oh man! So ever since I can remember, my mother.
Oh wow!
My mother would tell me that I was special. That I was going to do great things and to be a leader and not a follower. Ever since I remember, ever since a little kid, like 3 years old, I remember my mother telling me that. So by the time I was 9, man, I heard it was. I felt something, and it said at 9 years old, it said, "Robert, what are you going to do after you leave this earth? After you die? Like, how are
At
people
9 years old.
At 9 years old,
Wow.
how are people going to know that Robert Guerra was here on earth? What are you going to leave behind?" Well, I didn't know I was going to have kids, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing. So I said, well, I want to be a photographer.
At 9 years
At
old.
9 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. I said I wanted to be a photographer, I wanted to be a cinematographer, or I wanted to be a writer. So I've been blessed to be able to be a photographer, a videographer, and a publisher of a magazine.
So all your dreams come true.
I don't know. Back then, I wouldn't say if they were dreams. It was more of a destiny.
A destiny.
I think that's a difference between a dream and like like dreaming is like there's the possibilities that it won't happen. Destiny is like accepting that's your path.
Wow, that's amazing. How do you
Yeah.
see it? Because it's a thing. If you will focus and you didn't think like maybe it's gonna happen or maybe not. You're really like very sure that you wanna do it.
Yeah. By the time I was in, I was surrounded by pictures. You know, our parents took a lot of pictures, put them in albums, right?
Yes.
So we were always looking through that. And by the time I was in middle school, I had already taken photography. So by the time I was 14, someone had came to our house to take pictures in our home. Back in the day, that's what photographers did. They would go door to door and take your pictures in your home. And I was looking at the equipment, and the guy goes, "Do you want to be a photographer?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "How old are you?" Well, I was 14, but I was big for my age. So I told him I was 18.
Wow.
And I started photographing families at 14 years old, man, making money on the weekends.
Wow. And what was your first brand that you used? Is Canon, Sony? Well, back in the days, I don't think Sony was a brand in
It was, back then it was Minolta.
Monota.
Minolta.
No, I didn't know. I didn't even know that brand.
Yeah, oh yeah, Minolta. So I was a Canon guy, but I worked when I was shooting for the company. I used Yashicas, which you probably haven't heard of. I used Minotas. I used Canons.
And today's, what is your preferred brand?
Sony.
Sony.
But it's not so, it's only, so for me, is it a preference? I don't know. I don't think it's a preference. I think it's just, it just so happens that my camera is Sony. And the reason being is because I used to shoot, of course, film, and then I moved over to digital when it started happening. And I would shoot DSLR, right? But those suckers were heavy, man.
Yes,
they were heavy. So when Sony came out with the 6000, and I started seeing people on YouTube like brag about it, like, man, it's so light and it takes just as good pictures as a DSLR, then I jumped to it. And so Sony was the first one to come out mirrorless. That produced really good images comparable to a DSLR. So that's the only reason. I mean, if you give me any camera and show me where the on and off button is, and show me where the aperture, shutter speed, and ISO buttons are, and I don't care what brand it is, I can shoot with it.
Yeah, for me, I was shooting with Canon, and I didn't change immediately when Sony released their first mirrorless camera.
Yeah.
I wait because I see some of my frames have problems with the batteries because they were so small. The first generation, they were so small.
Right.
But then when like 3 years later, they upgrade to a bigger battery. That's when I
So you know how to fix that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know how to fix the small batteries.
Oh no! How do you do it?
Just carry a lot of batteries.
Yeah, I see my friends with a lot of batteries and a lot of chargers.
Yeah.
Everywhere they go, they connect their chargers to.
Well, you see, I don't, because I still shoot with the little batteries. With the, I shoot with a A7R2, which still has the small batteries.
Small one?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And you just got to be aware. I mean, if I see them at 16%, I go ahead and change the battery.
Yeah.
Right. I probably, through a wedding or a quinceañera, I'll probably use like 4 to 6 batteries. Just keep them in my pocket,
Yeah, for me it was like it was too much, too many batteries. So I wait until they have a large battery. What do you enjoy most about working in events?
The most I enjoy working about events now, because I've been a photographer, man. I'm going to go ahead and you're going to figure out my age. I've been a photographer for going on, oh my goodness, it's going on 48 years now.
Wow.
48 years as a photographer.
I can imagine all the knowledge to have right now, because you see many things happen, and some things that they shoot in many years ago is coming back. What do you think?
So, because I used to shoot film, and most photographers that are not my age, such as yourself, how can I put it? If you heard the term of cutting your teeth, like paying your dues, right?
Yeah.
Well, so I used to shoot film. So for us to get the exposure right, we had the meter in the viewfinder, right, to tell you, if you're good or not. But we didn't get to see the results until 2 weeks later.
Wow.
So when you take a picture and you immediately see that image, right? And we used to have to wait 2 weeks to see the image. So inconveniences of carrying extra batteries is nothing.
Yes. That's right.
Yeah. So you kind of appreciate. So the most what I enjoy now is that I know my craft. I know my tools. When you master whatever you do, whether it be a photographer, a cook, whatever, right? When you master your tools, then that's when you get to be creative, and that's when you get to relax and enjoy yourself. So there's a term, if you're on time, you're late.
Oh, interesting.
If you're on time, if I'm on time, I'm late, right? You asked me to be here at 6 o'clock.
Yes.
I got here at 5:30.
Yes.
Okay. When it's time for a gig, if I know I have to start shooting at 6, I show up at 4. I don't get paid extra for it, but I show up at 4, because that way I can get my equipment ready, relax, look at the lighting, talk to the client, get as much information as I can, and I'm cool. That's enjoyable. That's when I'm like, man, this is I enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes you get on time, but you're hurry up with all your equipment, and you don't have time to relax and enjoy your work, right?
So what happens? You make mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Haste makes waste.
Haste makes waste.
Waste. When you're in a hurry, you're going to make mistakes. When you're not in a hurry,
and also you don't enjoy it because
right.
the stress is high.
Yeah.
If you have time, like you said, you introduce to your clients, talk to them. It's going to be good for everybody.
And it's not just about taking pictures, man. I mean, I can give a kid a camera, right? And he can, and I'm going to get some good image out of him,
yeah.
right? It takes, for me, I got to have a connection with the client.
Yeah, right? I think this is the most important thing of our work, have a good connection with our client.
You have to, and that's anything in life, Jorge. You know, whether it be, we're in any type of relationship, whether me and you right now, we're in a relationship, whether it be a wife, a boyfriend, a husband, there's a friend, whatever, there's that relationship, right? So there's expectations, right? And when you don't meet those expectations, then you let that person down.
Yes.
So I apply that in my life, right? So when it comes to my clients, I would say like 90% of my clients end up becoming friends that we keep in touch throughout the years. You got to remember something. I photographed babies when I was younger that grew up to be quinceañeras.
Wow.
They grew up to have their wedding, and then their kids quinceañera. So and why? Why do I get to do that? Well, because of the connection I have with the clients.
Of course, and also you are so important that you have in every important day of their lives, like you say, baby pictures, quinceañeras, graduations, weddings.
Right.
So, how important is a photographer in the people's life?
So what happens when in everybody's life there's tragedy? We end up losing. Well, tragedy is a matter of perspective, right? Things happen. People die. What's the first thing we do? We go back to the pictures. And why do we do that, Jorge? We do that so we can reconnect to that person.
Wow, that touched my emotions.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's why we do that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we well, for me, when my dad died, my mom, when everybody dies, I immediately miss them, right? Well, what's the next best thing? Pictures and video.
Yeah, right? That's why I think we are the most important vendor in events. Yeah, we are. We have to preserve all the memories for our clients or for the generations to come.
So, in the party planning industry that encompasses weddings, quinceañeras, sweet 16, bat mitzvahs, proms, homecomings, all that, right? I envision there's a totem pole. You know what a totem pole is? So Native Americans would have totem poles. It's made of a large piece of wood. And,
I think it
has faces on it, right? Yeah. So the most important part of that totem pole is to be on top, right? I want to be on top of that totem pole. Because when people are planning, who do they put on that top of that totem pole? They don't put photographers. They put what? The dress, the venue, the church. Photography is at the bottom of the totem pole usually, close to the bottom. We're the least, I think, thought about. And the reason why is because people take us for granted. Okay, so before the event, we're at the bottom of the totem pole. But I can guarantee you this, Jorge. I can guarantee y'all this. After the event, guess who's on top of the totem pole?
Photographer.
We are.
Yes, I'm agree.
We are. That's when we're most appreciated. is after the event, because after mamas don't remember anything because she was too busy doing here, doing there, and she's all, oh my God, and you've heard this, oh my God, I don't remember this group shot, right?
Yes.
Just because she was so busy, that's when we're appreciated.
Yes, and also I think we are the vendor that make most friends for clients, because we have like a lot of like a connection before the event, during the event, and after the event. So we have a lot of communication. So many photographers tell me this, like my clients become my friends.
Yeah, and I've said the same thing. And we're more than photographers. You know, photographers and DJs end up becoming coordinators too.
Yeah.
That's not in our job description, but we do it anyway.
Exactly. What was one event that you will never forget?
Oh my goodness, let me see. Any event. Photographing President Obama.
Wow, you photographed President Obama.
Yeah, he was having a...
Tell me about it.
He was having in fact, one of my mentors, Robert Guerra.
He's from Dallas too?
He's from Dallas. He was a famous photographer. He's dead now. He called me because he needed an additional photographer to help cover the event. It was a private event, fundraising. And went to Highland Park. In fact, I had long hair. I mean, I had hair down to my middle of my back, right?
Oh,
and
wow.
I cut it, man. I cut it because I was going to photograph the President of the United States. And yeah, that's one of the most memorable. That stands out, right? The ones that I most appreciate are the family-oriented events, because I know how important those events are to people. They may not realize it afterwards, but they don't realize, you know, me as a photographer, I know what's going to happen. People from out of town, people from out of the country, people from all over are going to be there, right? And this is going to be the only opportunity. There's very few times that people come together. You know, funerals, special events like quinceañeras, weddings, right? And that's our opportunity to document the event. And if anything, man, and let me just say this real quick, and I'm going to get on to some photographers. Y'all got to remember this, right? You need at the end of the night, man, you should be dead tired. Your arms should be hurting, right? Because you need to photograph all those people, not just some pictures here and there. You got to, you know, grab a lot of group shots. So I'll stop now.
And what do you think about, for example, some clients sometimes call me and they say a lot of thank yous, like thank you for photographing my grandpa, and it's like sometimes it's very important our job that there is the only memory that I have from them, right?
Yeah.
And also, getting back a little bit in the conversation, that's why it's important to get a photographer like has a lot of experience. Sometimes new photographers are very artistic, but when you have experience in the event, it's like a really important, because you know what is going to happen, right? Because, for example, in a wedding, you know where to locate before it happens.
Pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You sometimes, you know, you talk to with the parents, and they say, my mom is gonna come and we need a family picture, so you get ready for that.
Right.
And sometimes this you get this experience with time, with events working.
Well, so because I'm the owner of RG Productions Photography Video, right? We're capable of doing multiple events on any given day. And that's because I have access to different photographers. Not all, so for me is this, newcomers, okay? Let me back up a little bit. So if you give me if I go buy a surgical knife, right? And I take that splinter out of your finger and I say, Jorge, I want, you know, you should pay me $1,500. And you're like, are you crazy? Right? What? Yeah, but I have this surgical knife and I took the splinter out. But if you go to an emergency clinic, you'll pay that guy in that room $1,500 to take that. That's what you'll be charged, maybe, right?
Yes.
So just because I have a $2,000 camera in my hand does not make me a photographer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
It does not make me a photographer, you know? And the overuse of professional photographer. Some education here. Professional means that you make over 50% of your income from your craft. Okay, so if you're working a 9-to-5 job, guys, and you got a camera and you're calling yourself a professional photographer, you're not a professional photographer.
Yeah,
you're a serious amateur, but you're not a professional.
Yes, I'm agreed with you. And I'm agreed with you because today's day is very easy. Like I get a camera and says I'm a photographer, but when you are in the business, you know how important the quinceañeras and weddings are. Mm-hmm. That you invest a lot of money on. For example, you take the pictures the day of the event. You invest a lot to save this image and to make sure that they won't delete from any files, right?
Right.
And do you work alone or with the team?
No. So if we shoot a gig, so my packages, I mean, even though I have separate packages for photography, video, I sell combo packages. So that consists of a photographer and videographer, two separate people, of course. I've seen photographers shoot both, right? It can be done. I mean, technically, there's what I've always termed a hybrid photographer. You got to remember that these cameras shoot 4K and 6K, right? So technically, if you shoot video in 4K and act like a photographer, but keep in the back of your mind you got to get that video footage, you can always pull frames out of that 4K and they're high res. So do you really need both? No, but people still want to see two separate people. Because there's been times when I've had to pull frames out of 4K.
Oh, wow.
No, you know, yeah.
Yeah. Just maybe the lighting, right? Because when you have the options to have off-camera flash, and with the video, it's like a different kind of image.
So, first of all, you got to remember something. I shot film, right? So my mentor, we had to shoot it right in the camera.
Yes, you have to take the time to do it right.
Well, you had to. Okay, so if you know your craft, if you know your tools, you know your settings, then you don't have to take too much time. It comes automatic, right?
It's like a driving, right?
It's like driving.
You don't think about it. You just do it.
Yeah. So, so if you're shooting video 4K, you know, when I train photographers, so when I was, back up a little bit more, when I was trained, my mentors, they weren't nice about it. They would sit me down at a table like this, roll out my pictures and say, why is that picture like that, Robert? How many times do I have to tell you, Robert, why you keep shooting like that? He wasn't nice about it, right? So that made me a damn good photographer, man. So now when I train my photographers, I'm nicer, okay? But I'm like this. When you take a picture and you see it right there, instant.
That's
right?
Amazing, right?
It's amazing. Where I had to wait 2 weeks back in the day. So if you take one picture and it's too dark, and you take another picture and it's dark, why is it dark? When you can instantly change your settings. Is because you got the mentality, because you're lazy, that you're thinking, I'm going to fix it in post-production. Well, that takes more time.
And also when you have like doing a photo session, maybe it's a trash bag in the floor, and you say, I'll fix it in Photoshop. No, remove it.
It's easier to move it, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's easier to move it. So when photographers are shooting for me, the only time I shoot raw is when I'm shooting portraits. When I shoot events, I shoot JPEG. Why? Because I shoot it right in the camera. 98% of my images, as soon as I shoot it, at the end of the night, if they want the SD card, you can take it, because I'm that confident my images are correct.
Oh, that's crazy,
right?
man. I love it.
Well, if I hire someone to help me shoot, right, and they're shooting all over the place on exposures, right? Are you a photographer? Yes. Well, let's define photographer. Photographer is you giving me a good exposed, properly white balanced, focused image. That's what a photographer does, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So why are you giving me this crap of all this overexposed yellow pictures? You're not a photographer.
Yeah, because sometimes they abuse of like the post editing, right?
Well,
But we are photographers or we are editors.
So that responsibility of editing has dropped on the photographers since film went away, because we would shoot the pictures and let the person that was processing adjust it, right? Now we have to adjust it. Believe me, everything that I know now is because of experience. Because when I start shooting digital, I had the same mentality. Oh, I'll fix it later. But after you shoot 2,000 images and you have to pick out the best ones and then properly adjust it, then I'm going to go, I'm going to go back to the way I used to shoot it right in the camera, right? So,
why work twice?
Or yeah, and twice as long, because one thing is that that stretches out your workflow, right? And it delays the client from getting their work.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have to spend 2 days on adjusting your images, well, that's 2 days later that your client's going to get their pictures. So I pride myself on my clients that they get their stuff back, photography and video, within 2 weeks, and it's good stuff.
Yeah. With your settings, you do manual ISO, manual shutter speed, Kelvin, aperture, all of them.
So these cameras that we have, man, they're pretty damn smart.
Yeah.
We are super smart. They're super smart, those cameras, right? But who made the cameras? We did. Humans did. So that means we're still smarter than the cameras, right? So every time I shoot and I train photographers, I train them to shoot manual. Okay. You know your autofocus in your camera, where it's that matrix and it's and it's trying to figure out, right? I don't shoot that. I shoot center. I shoot, adjust on the eye, recompose, and shoot. Because if you have, and you've experienced this, maybe, you got a person here and a person there, and the camera's going to focus right in the middle. It's going to throw you out of focus.
Yeah.
Bypass all that, man. Stop being, I'm not saying you, but guys, stop being lazy and put your camera on manual, and when you're shooting, you know, give me, I'm talking because I'm experiencing photographers that I hire, and they give me out of focus stuff, and I'm like, you call yourself a photographer? That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, no, and with today's technology, I think is very, very like frustrating that sometimes photos are out of focus, because we have a lot of technology in our hands right now.
Why are they out of focus?
Because they don't use the right focus method on the camera.
Because the photographer's relying on technology. Why? Because he's lazy. I don't want a lazy photographer. Why do you want to hire a lazy photographer? So I understand when clients are trying to save money, right? When they want to hire a $500 photographer, but you know, I'll shoot for $500. You know, I'll do 3 hours for $500, right? But when clients want me to do a 6-hour gig for $500, and they say, well, this other guy will do it, I'm like, well, I can't compete against him, because I know my worth, I know my quality, and if he's doing it for $500 for that amount of time, you're going to get it.
Robert, what is your favorite lens, or what do you say is the best lens for events?
So I shoot like I'm a first and second shooter. There's that thing, that second shooter thing, right?
Uh-huh.
So I shoot with 2 camera bodies. I shoot with a 24-70 2.8, and I shoot with the 70-200. So that covers all the focal length. So when I say that at the end of the night, man, I'm beat, right? My my arms are tired. It's because I'm doing this. When you see me shooting, I'm running and gunning, because I know I got to cover my wide angle shots and semi-wide angle, and then I need to get those close-up intimates, right? And the dance with the mom and dad, with the bride, with the quinceañera and her father, is only maybe a minute or a minute and a half, and I got to get all that coverage in, right? Now, if I was only shooting one camera and there was a second shooter, then I'd be dancing along in my ballerina shoes, you know. But I'm like, bam, bam.
Yeah, and how's your balance between portrait and landscape? You have a good balance on those pictures?
Well, my clients, and I keep that in mind too. My clients, because my albums are traditional albums, 4x6 albums, right? The slip-in 4x6s. Yes. I still offer that, and people love it. But I also do the acrylic hardcover albums, right? But the majority of them are landscape. Right? I do shoot at portrait times. It depends on the composition of whatever I'm shooting. Because if it's a long train, then that calls for landscape, right? If it's a short train, then that calls for portrait. So.
Yeah. Do you like any prime lens or just zoom lens?
I don't shoot prime lens, just because I need that focal length between 24 to 70 and 70 to 200. Because what happens if I shoot prime, that means I'm gonna have to be running back and forth.
Yes.
Right? And I don't want to do that. Because if I'm running, for me, this is my personal opinion, if I'm running back and forth, I'm losing time. So I wanna streamline everything that I do to a minimum. So if you're shooting, this is what I don't get. If you're shooting with one camera and you're shooting with a prime, and I've seen it happen. Yeah. And I've done it before, way back when. I shot with one camera, changed the lens, and I missed the shot.
Yeah, something happens in seconds.
I'm trying to be artistic. Yeah. I want that bokeh. Well, yeah, go for it and miss the shot. Yeah. You know, when a photographer shoots and I tell them, what is your main subject, right? Your main subject is the person, is the quinceañera or the bride or whoever, right? You got to determine who your main subject is and expose for them. And I'll have photographers come back and give me way underexposed picture, exposure on the face, right? But the background is perfect exposure. And I'm like, why did you do that? He goes, well, because then the background would have been blown out. I don't care. Is the background your subject? Yeah, no. I'm your subject. You expose for the face. So that comes with experience and maturity and logical thinking. You know, when I shoot, it's like I envision myself as a paparazzi, and if you're the groom, and that means, and I'm the paparazzi, that means I'm always in front of you. I always keep in front of you. Yeah. I don't get shots of people's back of their head.
That's great. Yeah. And how is your lighting, your setup for lighting for the venue? How you manage your flashes, or how do you do that?
So if I'm just shooting photography, you got to remember something. As a photographer, my main objective is to do this as a photographer, to give properly exposed, properly white balanced, focused images, right? The majority of the images that we shoot as photographers are going to be viewed how? On the phone or on a computer? Yes. Very little are going to see, really, how many are going to see large prints? Your portrait and maybe your hardcover album. So maybe 40 images, right? So my main enemy is camera blur. That's my main enemy. So I adjust my camera to make sure, 200 or above. And then my aperture needs to be about 5.6. And then I adjust the ISO. So I know I'm going to get some flack over this. Sometimes I don't use a flash when there's video lights. Because if we're doing both during a presentation, our video setup lighting is 4 lights, 2 in the back and 2 in the front, all facing at the dance floor, right? Those are pretty strong lights. Yeah, but you're having to use a high ISO. Oh my God. Man, technology with ISOs is outstanding, right? So I can show you images I've shot with 8,000 ISO, right? You're going to see them on the phone or on the computer. They're absolutely fine. Now, if you start squeezing in, you're going to see all these whatever. Well, that's anything, right? And if you print them up to 8x10s or 11x14s, you're still good. Sometimes, that's only sometimes. I mean, sometimes I use a fill flash just in case on the flash on my cameras. I'll have two different flashes.
You use bracket or just on top?
What's that?
You use when you
Just
use
on top.
On top. Okay. Because the bracket give you the option to, when you have a portrait, you can adjust the flash on the top, right?
Well, you can adjust the head too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, with the new ones, you can
Yeah,
do it. Right
even with the old ones. Back in when I shot Vivatars, the head would swivel.
Oh man.
You have to use a bracket.
Back in the days, I have a bracket and I love it.
Oh yeah.
I try to find it because right now there is a tendency, like a new photography. They try to imitate the old-fashioned photography, and it's like now is the new thing. And it's like with flash on top and very harsh lights to the subject.
And that's another thing too, man. I mean, just because we have flash at our disposal, and that's one thing that's very difficult to teach photographers or teach people that want to learn photography. You got to know. I know when to use a flash and when not to use a flash. I know when to use direct lighting and when not to use direct lighting.
Or natural light.
Yeah, or when shooting group shots, right? I've seen too many photographers. The ceiling is 12 feet high, black, and they have the flash pointed up.
Why?
And I'm like, do you understand what you're doing to your battery? You're ruining it. You're killing it. So at the end of the night, you're going to have no power, right? And if you're going to do that, you need to be at least within. If you got a 12-foot black ceiling and you want to have your flash up, then you better have a little reflector or the dome and be at least 6 feet away from your subject. That's the way I think.
Yeah, it's...
Man, we're getting really into photography.
What is the biggest challenge when you film in a quinceañera or wedding? Now we're talking a video.
Oh, dude, you know that, man. What's my biggest challenge?
Yes.
My biggest challenge is not lighting, is nothing on my part. And this is what I do with my clients. Every time I meet with them, I give them pointers. So my biggest challenge is when the quinceañera, my biggest challenge is when the family doesn't plan. That's my biggest challenge.
That sometimes happen a lot.
They don't even know how they're going to come in and do the presentation. Yeah. I have to how are you going to do this? And they go, I don't know. I'm like, okay, let's figure this out. This is what we're going to do.
That's why I think it's important that in these events, they need an event planner.
Oh yeah,
it's very important. They hire an event planner, they will enjoy more their party.
But even the event planners, man, they call themselves event planners, but they don't. You know who would make great event planners? We would make great event planners
because we have a lot of experience.
We already know. Look. Our job is to make great pictures and great video. And we know what that takes, right?
Yes.
An event planner doesn't see it that way. They don't see it that way. You know, when we're taking pictures and we see that exit sign, and we're like, why can't y'all cover that up? Or we see a beautiful, and I've said this to many venue owners, man, you got it's a beautiful venue, but then you got that ugly gray trash can over there. Cover it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so my major gripe is when people come up to present the crown, right? They'll stand in front of her. They'll stand in front of the quinceañera and place the crown on her. Well, guess who we're photographing? Guess who we're videotaping? We're videotaping the back of that person placing the crown on the quinceañera, because we try to. So there's a couple ways that we shoot. We shoot every event with at least 2 cameras. Sometimes both cameras are stationary. Sometimes one camera is stationary, one is a gimbal. Okay, depending on the package that they get. Everything that we do has a value to it. Okay, That's the way I think. So if you want a more cinematic type of video, well,
they need to invest.
Yeah. So, but let's say it's a 2-camera setup, stationary, static, right? They'll stand right there in front of the quinceañera, right? 2 things. One thing is making bad video. Second, people can't see the quinceañera being crowned. So what I do is I tell the clients, let's practice this. The parents always stay up front, don't leave, and when people come to present, give her gifts, if they try to stand in front of her, you pull them to the side. And if the quinceañera needs to move to the left or to the right, especially like when she's receiving her shoes, she needs to move to the left or right to clear a space for a good shot for us.
Yeah, that's a great advice for new videographers. That's very important. One of my challenges, I think.
But let me say this.
Okay.
For newbies, right? They need to focus on their gear. They need to focus on their settings, because if they don't, they need to focus on that first before they can start doing the creative thing. Because if they're,
Yeah, there should be like you driving a car. You don't think about it, how it works, but you do it, and then you can focus then in the art and the beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I was thinking about the one challenge for me in videography, and I think one of the really hard challenges is the audio, because sometimes we manage with big equipments, the sound is very powerful, so we need it's very hard sometimes to get a good audio from events, because it's really too much noise. What do you think about that?
So
how you record audio?
Sometimes I use external recording. Sometimes I use a DJI Mic 2 with the 32-bit float, set it on a separate light stand, and let it record away.
Yeah, and with the 32-bit, it's gonna be safe. You can manage to your
right. It's not gonna peak on you.
Yeah, exactly. That's the beauty of 32.
You can also, and we've tapped into the DJ board too. But even then, they don't keep their audio. And nothing to say bad about the DJ's audio. It's just, when they speak, they have the music at a certain level, but when they speak, it goes past that level. So then you got a peak, right? Or you got audio going up and down, and when you edit, then you're having to hit keyframes to adjust that, right? Because if you don't, man, it sucks for the people to view it.
Yeah, sometimes the DJ speak very loud, but then they pass the microphone to the bride who's gonna say some words, and they speak very slow.
So what do we have to do as editors? We gotta put those keyframes and adjust the volume.
I think it's the only way, because we can control that.
Yeah. I know we're behind the scenes, man. We're like, bring the mic up, bring the mic up.
And there are some good DJs that they give advice to their people.
Yeah.
Hey, speak very close to here, loud. O sea, they try to do it before it happened, but not all of them do this for us.
Yeah, and DJs, they're notorious for not working with the photographer. You got to remember that when we're shooting video and photography, we have equipment to move, right? So when they went after the presentation and they go, okay, it's time for the cake, and I'm thinking, we're, I don't know, 100 feet away from the cake. I got to move my lights. I got to move 2 cameras, and they're already at the cake ready to move it. And I'm yelling at the DJ, no! And he just keeps on going, and I'm looking at him like, you're a jerk, man. And all of us have one thing in common, every vendor there, and that's to make sure that we give a good product to that client. So that means we need to be working together, man. And forget those egos. Communicate, communicate with everybody, especially the DJ and the photographer. There's no reason why the hey, photographers, are y'all ready? Give me a thumbs up. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and it's better than say it's going to happen right now, right?
And we miss it. Some fun stories.
Robert, what advice would you give to someone that is started in this industry?
I would, in the industry, across all the board, not just as a photographer, videographer, or
I think more as photographer and videographer.
some advice is this. Advice would be to either go to college, okay, and pay some good money and learn some basics, right? Or invest your time and get on YouTube. Or become an intern with a seasoned photographer.
That's a good advice.
Okay. Man, I've had so many people come up to me and say, Robert, I want to be a photographer, right? And I'm like, do you really know what a photographer is? Do you know what that means?
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of commitment too.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Sometimes romanticize like a photographer, but it is not.
it's great money, it's good money, and da 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 da. Let me say this: if you're not willing to show up to your gig, even though your dad died, don't be a photographer. Okay? If you're not willing to show up to your gig, some type of tragedy in the family, don't be a photographer. Okay? Those people that you don't go finish your gig, they're going to feel bad that your dad died. Okay? But their next thought is, where's my photographer? Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
So I personally have sacrificed
A lot. I understand because we are doing the same, but not only when something bad happened. Also in Paris, your family, like you have like a quinceañera or a party for your son or for your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You want to miss it because you are working on other people's party.
either that or you better have plan B and C and D.
Yeah.
Right? If you can't make, so that's what happened with me, Jorge, is that I used to bill myself as Robert Guerra photographer, right? Well, sometimes Robert Guerra photographer would get one gig in May, right? And then request 4 gigs in June on the same day. And Robert Guerra can't do all that, right? On the same day. So Robert Guerra became RG Productions Photography Video. And I had to fight for that, man, because the Hispanic community was not used to a production company doing their events. They were used to solo photographers, right? So when I had an uphill battle with RG Productions Photography Video. So when you get your finished product, you don't know who shot it. You just know it's good.
Yes.
Right, and that's because the photographers that work under me, I trained them the way I shoot. I can't train you any other way. The only way I can train you is how I shoot. So when I'm training you, don't tell me, well, this guy said it, well, then you need to go see that guy then.
Of course. And also as a business owner, this is the way we grow up. Like, and not just do one event or brand your name. Instead doing like multiple events with the same quality, but multiple is the way we can grow up as a business.
As a business, right? Because I feel either, you're going to, unless you're in a sector that you can charge $10,000 to $20,000 per wedding or event, which we're not, right? For me to survive in this industry, to remain professional, I have to be able to do multiple events on any given day, yes. Right? I have to, because if not, then that means I'm going to have to go get a 9-to-5 job. So I've gotten many jobs, and I asked them, why did I end up getting the job? Well, because the last guy I would call, he never called me back, or it took them 8 hours or 10 hours to call me back. Well, that's because he was working 9 to 5. When you call me, either I answer the phone right then and there, or you're going to get a call or a text within a couple of hours.
Yeah, the service is different.
The service is different. And that's what you pay for. You pay for the service.
Yeah. Yeah,
customer service. And I also tell customers this, the reason why I've been in this business so long is why? Because of customer service and the quality of the work. There's no way I could have survived that long.
Yeah, and it sounds easy to have these many years in the business industry, but it's really hard. like a big commitment on have the good quality that the clients is still hiring you, still having you in their minds.
Yeah.
It's like you have a great job doing this for many years.
Yeah, yeah. And that's, and that's one thing also. Newbies want to come in and immediately start making great money. And I'll be honest with you, man, so this is, what I have is of great value, right? I have something of great value that you want. What do you have that's of value to me? What am I getting out of this relationship? Because it has to be beneficial for both parties. Because if it's not, one's going to go, right?
Yes.
Girlfriend, wife, friend. If it's not beneficial for both parties, I'm out of here, right? So I know what I got, and it's very valuable. And you want that from me? Well, what do I get? It's
that
true,
makes
man.
sense.
It's
Yes,
true.
it's true.
This is what I'm going to get. If you want me to train you, I'll train you, okay? But you make an agreement with me that you're going to work with me for X amount of time at this amount of money. And it's not going to be professional money.
Yeah.
Right? Either that or your next choice is go spend $40,000 in college.
Yes, exactly. But at the same time, you give them training, but also you give them exposure, because it's not the same. If you give them job every weekend, they're gonna learn a lot.
Quick.
Yeah.
And I tell them, I can make you a great photographer. I can get you from point A to point B within 12 months. It would take you freaking years. All right, years to know what I'm about to teach you, but you got to give me something in return.
Yes.
And that means that you're going to work for me for X amount of time, right? And with the no compete clause. That means that after you leave me, you can't compete against me for X amount of months. That's only fair. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but if I'm investing my time, hours, in training and teaching you, why do I want to train you? You break off with me and then immediately compete against me.
Yeah, I'm agreeing the part that once you teach them and they have to work only for you. I'm agree with that part. But I think after the agreement is finished, I think they, in my opinion, they will allow to do their job by themselves.
Right. After the agreement, right? But
Yes.
my agreement is there's a no compete clause for X amount of months. That's the agreement, right? I know that's what I had to do. So part of my training when I was younger was I went to work for JCPenney.
Oh wow! I have another friend that worked for JCPenney as photographer.
And
I think maybe you know him. It's Gerardo Mandujano, GM Photo.
I've heard of GM.
Yeah, GM Photo. He works for JCPenney.
So I had to sign a non-compete clause.
Yeah, in every industry, is in that way.
Yeah. So and I get it because they're training me, right? They're giving me knowledge for free, plus they're paying me. So yeah, there's going to be a no compete clause with me if you train with me. Which is a small price to pay.
Yes, but I think it's worth it. Like all the knowledge you have and sharing it with them, I think it's going to work for them at the time.
Well, think about it, man. Are you prepared to pay $40,000 to go to college to learn photography? If you are, then you go do it. But it's not just learning photography. They'll teach you the basics, but there's nothing different. There's a big difference between on-the-job training, being really in a real situation, and behind the book. Yeah.
Yes. Let's talk about your MiDia magazine.
MiDia magazine.
What is MiDia magazine and how did it start?
So, quick background. So, my abuelita, I called her abuelita, not abuelita. My abuelita was from Chihuahua, Mexico, right?
That's why you're tall, right?
That's why I'm tall. Is that why?
Because in Chihuahua, I think the average in Mexico, the people more tall is in Chihuahua.
Chihuahua?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Well, there you go.
Have you played basketball?
No, I played football, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Football, soccer or American?
No, for American.
American.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So when she came over here to escape the Mexican Revolution back in the 20s, right?
Oh, wow.
Paid a nickel to cross the border. And my dad was born here. And when he was going to school, when they spoke Spanish, they would hit him. The nuns would beat him, right, for speaking Spanish. So
I'm glad that I was not there.
yeah, you wouldn't be speaking Spanish. So he married my mother, which is white, so he didn't speak to me in Spanish. But I got a strong sense of heritage. He was so proud to be Mexican, man. He was Mexican, like Mexican, dude. And sombrero and cross bullets like this and taking a picture with a rifle. And yeah. So I was very heritage enriched, right? But I never learned how to speak the language. I took a couple of classes in junior college and I learned the vowels. So I can read it, believe it or not. But understanding it, yeah. So this is what happened. This is what I've learned. The quinceañera market, the Hispanic market, people tend to misjudge that market. They think that we are predominantly, especially in America or Texas, that we are predominantly Spanish speaking. That's a stereotype, first of all. Okay. My audience, the females, 12 to 20-year-olds, even though they speak Spanish, and I've done a survey with them, they prefer to speak English. Now, they'll speak Spanish to their, and I've asked them, which language do you prefer? Oh, English, right? So I know my market.
Yeah, because usually our clients is not the first generation. It's like a second or third generation.
Well, who's our clients? First of all, think about that. Who's our clients? Who's your client? Describe your client.
My client, it's like, depending, for example, in quinceañeras, our clients is mothers in between maybe 25 to 40 years old.
I would say that you're mistaken.
Why?
My client is 12 to 20-year-old females. My client is the quinceañera. Is the girl. Hold on, let me finish that. Even though the money comes out of the parents' pockets, it's what the quinceañera wants. Pretty much.
I could say so for some quinceañeras, because I have quinceañeras that they hire me because the girl, but usually in my clients usually are the mothers. They're looking for packages, for pricing, for looks, and but one small percentage of my clients come in because the quinceañera wants my work.
Well, you just said you just reaffirmed what I just said. It's what the quinceañera wants. You just said it. It's because the quinceañera said that she wanted you.
But it's just a small percent.
Oh, a small percentage is because of that?
Yeah.
My percentage is because of the quinceañera likes my work. You see, when I speak when a family comes up to me, I need to make sure that quinceañera likes me.
Yeah. I think it's very important that the quinceañera likes my work too, but
no, I'm not talking about my work.
Your personality. But for me, it's the second thing. I know.
Which is first to you, personality or work?
Well, first, First,
that's a trick question, man.
Yeah. I think it's it's a balance, but it's a little more personality.
So my mentor told me back in the day, man, he goes, Robert, he gave me some great advice. He goes, you can be a great photographer, dude, the best in the world. But if people don't like you, they're not going to hire you. He goes, but you can be a crap, man. You can be a terrible photographer, but a great personality and people will buy you. Thank God, God granted me with a great personality and great work. So I took that to heart. People have to like me first. But you got to be genuine, right? And that being genuine comes from the passion of what we do, right? So for me is, I don't have to worry about my work because I already know it's good, right? But so is yours.
Yeah.
Why are they going to choose us?
The connection.
I made my point.
Yeah, but getting back a little bit in the part who is hiring you, for me, sometimes I notice that the quinceañera, the parents hire me because of the quinceañera, but this is a small percent. Usually, the large percent of my clients, the first who's hired me is because they like me is the mother, and then they make the quinceañera meet me and see my work. But it's the second option.
Okay.
And with the brides, my target is like maybe.
It's the bride.
Yeah, it's a bride. Like, what is the age that I started getting married? Like at 22?
Yeah.
Yeah, 22 to 35. Yeah. We're.
And as we get older, and that's going to change for you too, man. What happens is, as we get older as photographers, our clientele tends to shift too, because we as humans, me as a human, I want to identify. I want to be able to see myself in that person, right? So that shifts too. Your clientele will shift. You will, and I can tell you, your clientele will tend to start getting older. And what happens is this. What I've learned is I always have to reinvent myself. Always.
I think that's the most important thing that we need to do. Like, if we not like we have an evolution, we can work in this industry. We need to constantly start learning new things. Getting into new stuff, like right now, like a TikTok, Instagram, like all this stuff. We need to. Sometimes it's hard to do it, but we need to.
I think it takes more than that.
Like what?
I'm not going to tell you all my secrets. I'm not going to let everything out. See, that's one thing I learned too, man. Sometimes I can talk too much.
So, but I think for me, for example, when I get in this industry, I receive like a very good vibes from other photographers, and but before that, I noticed that there is like some vendors like they have like a competition. They don't want to share like everything. See like a competition, and I think. We need to see first not a competition.
I'm sorry.
Not a competition. Instead, like a how do you say
a community.
Community. What do you think about that?
We all love each other. We're all friends. Let's hug each other.
You don't agree with that?
This is what I agree with, man. You got to remember something, Jorge. I'm old school, man. I've been in the business a long time.
Yeah,
okay.
I know.
And my mentality is this. Where'd you buy that?
For reading.
Where did you buy it?
Where?
Yeah.
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon.
Oh my God. Do you think Amazon has that mentality? Do you think they go, let's you other guys that have your other selling platforms, let's all be a community and get along. Do you think they think like that?
No, I don't think. They are closing all kind of business.
They buy up businesses, right?
They removing competency.
They remove competition, right? And that's why they're as big as they are, right? IBM, do you think they have that same mentality? No. Now, I don't mind, this is my concept. First of all, I don't mind helping people that are helping themselves, because I can't help you if you're not helping yourself.
Yeah, I think this is the thing you said right now. I think is very important I notice that when people are really interested in photography, I try to help them. When I see there is like a romantic thing, like I'm gonna be a photographer, but it's gonna be easy. Yeah. I know that they do well. They do it exactly. Yeah. But getting back to the Amazon thing, right?
Yeah.
We are not like this. I'm not agree with that. We are not like these companies like are removing all the competency, because we can do it as photographers. I cannot close.
Whenever see, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, as a photographers, we cannot like shoot down other business photographers. They're gonna stay there. So we need to even because you put the example right with Amazon. Amazon is buying business too close to have no competition. We can do that. We are not. We can do that in this market because every year is getting new photographers.
So let me say this, man. Let me say this. I haven't lived my life based on I can't do something. Everything is possible, and it's true. Everything is possible, okay? Because I believe as long as we have decisions, then we have all these different veins of life we can go to based on our decisions, right? So I'll never have the mentality of I can't do something. Now, that doesn't. Now, I have to at least try. Now, does that mean I'm self-employed? I don't have a 9-to-5 job, right? So I have to make a living.
Yes.
Okay, so I have to be very aggressive in my marketing and as RG production, as an entrepreneur, right? That means I got to take steps to keep me different. Now, because of what I've learned along the way about helping photographers, because I've seen what they've done to me, right? I've they haven't lived up to their part of the agreement, right?
Yes.
I've done my part, but they didn't do their part. So now if you don't learn from your experiences and you keep on repeating that, that's not on them, that's on you, that's on me, right? So I think someone will keep patting me on the back up until it's not beneficial for them. Okay. It has to be beneficial for both parties. I will help you, but what is in it for me? It sounds terrible, but man, that's human nature.
No, I'm agree with you in that part. I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's like a business transaction. They get in education, they get in exposure to the events, and you have their work for sometimes.
So you want to? So I always used to hear, "Oh, there's plenty of business for everybody."
Yeah, I think that.
Plenty of business for everybody. Really, at the beginning of the year, man, it was a struggle. It was tough. Was there enough business for everybody, Jorge?
No, at the beginning of the year, no.
No, there wasn't. But now there seems, that's bull crap, dude. Either you do or you don't. What are your convictions? What are your true convictions? Really think about, when there's not enough business, there's not enough business for everybody. So which is it? There is or there isn't?
There is.
Now there is.
But you need to, like, for example, in my case, there isn't. But the way that I try to resolve this is not like try to not have a competition. Expand my services.
But you do, so that's elimination of competition. You do things, you take steps to eliminate. Look, you do things to make you different from other photographers, do you not?
Yes.
And doing the podcast is one of them.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Well, that means that you're going to eliminate some other photographer that doesn't have a podcast. That's the same. You're still eliminating them. You're still.
In some way, yes. Not like Amazon. They're gonna buy their business, and
it's how you look at it. But
in some way,
I think we agree. It's how you. Yeah. I'm just being truthful, and that's
that's very
truthful on my part. The way I perceive it.
Yeah, exactly, and it's a good conversation, different point of view.
Yeah,
and it doesn't make any good bad thing on your part or bad thing on my part.
Disclaimer that event podcast by Jorge Ross is not responsible for any opinions that I have to say.
Thank you, Roberto.
Don't blame Jorge. But I wish I do hope people learn and not intentionally just follow through with your agreements that you have with people, man.
Yeah, because I think you agree with me in some part. Because,
a lot.
Because you are here with me. You are not like a competing. We are making a community. Right? We are not here doing business. We are here.
No, we're doing business.
We are here like
on.
talking about our work.
Why though? Really think about it. Why am I here? Why did you invite me?
Because
what are you getting out of it?
I'm trying to know like a different perspective of photographers.
Are you trying to build up your business? Yes.
I have already my business. I have already my clients.
But you got to build it up.
Yeah, but I'm not getting. I will not get it from you.
You get it from the podcast, though. You get it from the content you create.
Maybe in the future, but the views are not there. But the main thing that I'm getting from you is your knowledge. Is like your experience. Like the way you're maybe I'm disagree with you right now, but maybe in the future I'm gonna agree with you.
I think in the future you're okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm trying to absorb all your knowledge and not taking like advantage of you. Like,
go ahead.
but give me some advice and how you see this industry.
It's not, Jorge. It's not about taking advantage of anyone. It's about opening my eyes and being aware of what is really happening. Because I see this. There's a reason why I'm here. Not because I'm a great guy. I am a great guy.
I think you're a great guy.
I'm a great guy.
Yeah.
But dude, I could be at home eating popcorn than talking to you, right? But why am I here, Jorge? What do you think? To do what? To promote Robert Guerra Entrepreneur. Why? Think about this, Jorge, because that's where you make the mistake, man. You have value. You don't see it, dude. You have value. Your value is this. You might be here, but the only way to go is up, dude. That's the only way to go. If you keep doing this, you're going to go up, right? I know that.
But
Jorge, that's why I'm here, because I'm going to get exposure.
But exposure, but also don't you want to share your history, your experience? At the beginning of the interview, you tell me why we are here. What you're gonna left?
Well, I'm gonna leave behind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And maybe it is not like just getting right now. Not getting exposed. Is people know you? People know how you change from shooting how do you say film how to change that to digital
and survive in the industry.
Exactly. Yeah. Because many photographers that I know that they shoot film, they quit. Yeah. Because they can adapt. How can a photographer manage to adapt?
How? By necessity, man.
But necessity. But it's important to know that not many people will able to do it.
So you said not only because of the exposure, it's also because of leaving some knowledge behind. I think I've done that. I think, and if anything, I think I understand human nature or our psyche. Who doesn't like to talk about themselves?
Yeah, I'm agree with that.
Right? There's so much. Look, I'm very introspective, right? I'm always questioning myself why I do certain things because I want explanations. Because if I don't have explanations, I get stressed out. So I'm always asking myself, why am I doing this? Why am I acting like this? And I got to be honest with myself, right? Because I can't lie to myself. Right?
And in the past, you lied to yourself?
Of course. I think all of us lie to ourselves. Yes. Because I had to lie to myself to make myself feel good for what I was doing, because I wasn't always honest.
Yeah, I'm
Come
agree
on,
with
man.
you. Yeah, yes, I'm agree with you.
I mean, everyone has, some things that they're not proud of, right?
Yes.
But luckily, I got to a certain point in my life where I had an awakening, and I'm like, Robert, you can't live your life like this.
And how this awakening happened? What happened that you said that?
Awakening. Yeah. So what I've learned is people in general don't have a personality shift until they're in enough pain. Pain is a great motivator, right? Tragedy. That can change someone, either for the worse or for the best. And in my case, it was the best. I've learned to communicate, because even I tell my clients, I'm like, I give great customer service. I said, but you have a responsibility too, and that's communication. Because if you don't communicate with me, I can't give you what I don't know. There's only so much I know about you. And if you don't communicate, then I can't give you everything that you want. So I'm pretty transparent, man, on my view on how I look at things and how I feel about things. Doesn't make it right. It's just my point of view. And that's what I've learned too, is that each one of us, the 7-8 billion people down on this earth, we're in our own world. We have a sense of truth that doesn't match other people's sense of truth. But in our world, it's the truth. and that's what causes disagreements and wars and feuds and death, is because we're trying to change someone's mind. Forget about changing the mind. Let's just share views and agree that it might not match up.
And this doesn't mean that it needs to start a war. I think that
No.
that's stupid, because we can have a beautiful communication with different point of views,
I know, right?
with different point of views, and still have like a good communication. No problems like I'm getting mad at you, or you're getting mad at me.
No, dude, yeah.
And I think right now the communication is valuable, and it's one other reason that I'm doing this, because in my podcast usually I don't have like a disagreements, but I like that
A discussion.
I have a
debate.
Exactly. I like that it's happening with you, but at the same time I can express all my thoughts with you because my lack of language.
Oh,
but I really enjoying this conversation, and I can see you not agree with all my ideas, and it doesn't matter.
You see, that's weird. You see, and here we go back to perception, right? Because I see that we agree on everything.
No.
I do. That's the way I see it. But isn't that weird, man, about perception?
Yes.
You see, I see it that we're agreeing because you're saying some words, key words, that is agreeing with me. It's just the way you're seeing it is different. That's the way I see it. I'm hearing things. I'm like, oh yeah, he's agreeing with me. He's just not seeing it in my point of view.
Yeah.
I know it gets deep, man.
Well, let's back to the questions.
MiDia magazine. Well, MiDia magazine started 4 years ago, man.
Who is made for?
It's made for if you're planning a party, right? MiDia magazine is what you should be reading. Okay. If you're 12 to 20 years old, the magazine's for you.
Where can I find this magazine?
You can find it. We distribute it in 100 different distribution points between Dallas, Fort Worth. I know a couple off my head because I don't personally distribute. I have a distributor. Then from that, it's the moms from, 30 or even now 30, man. Because some of them have babies under 50. So 30 to 55. And then our next demographic are vendors, such as ourselves, right? So we have 3 different demographics that cover everything in one magazine. Now, the magazine, I'll just be straight up. There's another publication in DFW, right? But it's nothing but ads.
Oh, we're talking about...
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's
only
but,
Southern.
Yeah.
Let me see your magazine.
So there's a difference between. Let me ask you this, man. Would you turn on a channel and just watch nothing but commercials?
No.
Okay. So why would you get a magazine that has nothing but ads? because it's a yellow pages, maybe. Okay. So look, my objective is for you to keep that magazine in your hand as long as possible. And that means I have to have content that you want to read about, right? So it has content about planning your party. It has recaps of quinceañeras. It has ads of our vendors. But it's also a place, it has horoscope. It also has a place where it tells inspiring stories of girls that are doing something with their lives.
Oh, that's amazing.
Okay, so we're also, that's HWNT, Hispanic Women's of North Texas. We're partnered with them. We're partnered in the community.
And do you have a digital version or
Yes,
just where they can find the digital version?
MiDiaMagazine.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, I see that you produce expos.
Yes. So this is what happened. So I came up with the magazine first, right? And I knew what people were going to say, man. I knew exactly what they're going to say about magazine.
What
magazine is dead. Print is dead.
You think it's dead?
No, I don't. But I knew what people would say.
Yeah, but people sometimes say a lot of things, and
because most people that say that is because they're like this. They don't see the whole picture.
Yes.
Right?
Let me see that.
So print isn't dead.
So how this is coming every
3 months.
3 months?
It's quarterly.
Okay. It's quarterly.
Yeah. So the girls that are on the cover, those are deserving young ladies. That means they're doing excellent at school and they're doing great in their life.
Not only beauty face.
Yeah, it's not just anybody. They're very deserving. Our writers, those are our content creators.
So it's Vanessa Rosales, shout out.
Yeah.
How do you say
Rosales?
shout out?
Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out, food.
Chelsea Martinez,
Yeah.
the writer.
Yeah.
Mariana Canizales.
Yeah.
Dario Castro.
Dario. Yeah.
And Kaya Treviño.
Yeah.
So these guys are your
Content creators.
content creators. Wow.
And then my wife and I are publishers.
Oh, that's nice.
So we got to have content, and it's content that you want to read, right? Because this is what happens with print, Jorge. You'll have the magazine, right? You put the magazine, you'll read it.
It's a beautiful magazine.
Thank you.
And it feels like it doesn't feel cheap. It feels very, very quality.
That's exactly. We're human, man. We want to feel things. We want to smell things. We want to see things. We want to hear things. That's why print isn't dead. Because this is what happens, man. When we put this young lady on the cover, guess what she does with the magazine?
They're going to save it for life.
No, not just save it, because we give them issues.
They're going to give them to their friends. Yes.
Yeah.
Marketing thing.
It's marketing, yeah. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. But what happened is...
Beautiful work. I love it.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. I never see something like this here in Dallas before. Like you say, I see some like a newspaper with a lot of ads.
Yeah.
But I think this is much better.
Thank you. Thank you. So MiDia Magazine, this is what happened. MiDia Magazine is part of a network. And the network is MiDia Network. So envision an umbrella. And under that umbrella is MiDia Magazine. But then we have MiDia Digital, which is the website, social media, and the digital issue. Then we have the expos.
Wow, it's a lot of...
And then we have the podcast.
Oh, that's nice.
So now...
What is the name of your podcast?
Our first show is called Vendor Spotlight.
Oh, wow.
And we plan on having 4 other shows. We're getting talent to see if it'll fit under there. So now it's an umbrella that is not just print. It covers everything.
That's a great business idea.
Yeah. So just like Amazon, right? You see, dude? Look, man.
How do you say tiburón in
So,
English?
what's that?
Tiburón. How do you say
Tiburón?
tiburón?
Tiburón.
It's the shark. Oh, shark. Mind shark.
Well, think about it, man. I mean, why? Look, everything that we want to know and everything we want to do, it's already been done.
Yeah, we are not discovering the black eye.
Yeah, it's already been done, dude. So if you want to accomplish success, look at somebody that's already successful and just do what they're doing, right? So what we're the platform, and under that platform is the people that vendors are trying to reach. Because we got print, we got digital, we got the expos, and we got the podcast.
And also, you as a photographer team, right? Your team.
Because I'm a vendor too.
Yeah, exactly. You know the necessities from us vendors.
Well, you need to reach people that are going to hire you. And what's the best way to reach them? Through the platform.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Either you can go out there and try to do it all yourself, or you can become a seller for Amazon to reach the people that are trying to buy your product.
Who can advertise in MiDia?
First and foremost, they have to be quality vendors, man. We do a little bit of research behind every vendor that wants to be in the network, because we don't want shady vendors.
And we know there are many. There are some vendors like they are make fraud, scam.
Don't show up. Keep the money.
Yeah.
Don't deliver the pictures.
People need to be very aware of that.
So that's what we bring to our clients, because our audience will understand, and they'll figure out that we're top notch, and that when they use one of our vendors, then they're in safe hands. So one thing that I wanted to say is that, I only work with people, makes sense, that work with me. Why would I want to work with somebody that doesn't work with me?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Why do I want to use that energy with someone that doesn't work with me when I should be using that energy for someone that is working with me? And that's what MiDia Network is about.
Yeah, in the morning I have a conversation with a friend, and we have the same thing. Like we need to focus on people, like give us like some good in return.
Yeah. That are working with each other. There's a difference. So think about this, man. Think about this. So when these, now they're not too large now. Those expos that come in, they're not real big like they used to be. They're starting to shrink. When they come in from out of town, the producers come in from out of town and do an expo. They're coming into town, taking your money, and then they leave with no support.
To the community.
To the community. They take and leave. But yet, the vendors that are in that industry, that are in this industry, they'll keep on spending money with them, right? And in the meantime, their expos keep on getting smaller, right? Yes. My thing is this: work with the people that are in your community. Support the people that are in your community. That doesn't mean, but they got to have a good product, yes. Right? They have to have a good product. With us, ours is that community you were talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the community. I'm working with my community that works with me.
Yeah.
Because I can't help everybody. I can't, because
time is very important.
Time is
Time is very.
Yeah. So we're finishing up our fourth year. This will be our fourth year. We're going into 2026. We do 4 expos per year. They're at venues. Our next expo is July the 13th. That's going to be at the Dallas Aloft Hotel. That's in downtown Dallas, across from City Hall.
Where can vendors contact you to reserve a spot?
Man, 972-207-9414. You can go to the website, find my information there.
What is the website?
MiDiamagazine.com. MiDia.com.
MiDia magazine.
So it's MiDia, my day, but it's one word.
Okay.
MiDia magazine.com. Yeah. And so we do 4 expos per year. Again, when I started that, we were doing them in venues. People used to call them open houses. I had to fight for the name expo. I had to keep on telling people, it's not an open house, it's an expo. And then we changed it. Now it's a showcase expo because I want it to be different from the other expos. And so what happens when you do the smaller expos with us? You become part of the community. I'm gonna capitalize on that. We're a good network, dude. Because whenever we connect and we're like, we're just bouncing off each other. We know each other. So if someone needs something, that's the way it should work, right? And it's working. Yeah.
I'm happy that it's working.
I'm very proud of it. This is the expo. Yes, sir.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It was made with the
AI is that?
Yeah. Yes, I love it. Yeah.
No, man, I did that. I drew that. I love AI.
What is your goal for MiDia in the next few years?
My goal is to keep the integrity of the network. That's my goal. Is to
quality vendors.
To keep. It's important to me. I'm going to share something with you. We had an expo at Traders Village, April the 6th, on a Sunday, April the 6th, and it was cold, man. We had 2 stages under the blue pavilion, big. It was nice, and it was cold, dude. And the turnout was terrible. It was terrible. It was awful, and my heart sunk. Right? And that's what I mean about being transparent and truthful, right? Because not everything we do as people are successful or what we deem as successful. And again, it's how you look at it, right? We had people show up. There's some vendors that paid, but they didn't show up because it was cold, right? I won't work with those vendors again.
And you need commitment, right?
A commitment is a commitment. And so when I got on that mic, I told the people that were there, they were talking to the vendors. I said, the people that you're talking to, those are the people you need to be working with, because the vendors that didn't show up, those are the ones you don't want to work with.
Yeah.
It's the truth, man. A commitment is a commitment. And yeah. So that's one thing about working with us is that integrity and man, I do everything I can to do what I say I'm going to do, right? So my goal, my job is this, as the publisher and creator of MiDia Network is this. My job is to put you as a vendor in front of hundreds, if not thousands of readers and people, right? That's my job. And I accomplish that. It's your job
to show
up and sell yourself.
Yes.
That's your job, right? Because I've had people, well, I didn't get anything. Well, it's not, you know what? Sometimes, did you go talk to people? Did you network? Did you go meet the owner of the venue and introduce yourself and try to set up a meeting with her and try to create a relationship with? There's more to business than just having your equipment and some pictures or a cake and showing up. You got to work, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of things that we do as business owners.
Yeah.
Talking about that, how do you balance your magazine with your photography work? Because me as a photographer, it's a lot of work. Plus, if you do like a...
That's my ad.
Beautiful picture, I love it. But how you manage...
That's my work.
how you manage all the work you need to do as a photographer, plus the magazine?
How do I... A lot of hours.
A lot of hours.
A lot of hours.
You work like 7 days a week, or...
Sometimes.
It's a lot of work, right?
Yeah. My kids are grown. You know, my wife is very, she's involved in everything that we do. But yeah, I mean, I want to keep working. When I'm not working, I get antsy. I'm like, You know, when I get a day off, I'm like, I want to go to the studio. And
You think you are a workaholic?
No, I think I'm ADD.
What does that mean?
Attention deficiency disorder, or ADHD. That means that I need,
Do something?
yeah, I need stimulation.
Oh, okay.
So there's a reason why I have all these things going on. And I think, and I'm pretty sure I'm ADHD, where I need to be doing something.
I think it's a good thing, right? Because always you do something.
Right.
You're not getting bored.
Not getting bored. But always in the back of my mind is I have to live up to my commitments. Because if I say I'm going to do something, man, I better freaking do it.
Yeah, that's a men's word, right?
That's a what?
Men's word.
A men's word?
Oh, men's word.
Word.
Palabra de word.
Yes.
Yeah, palabra de hombre.
It's anybody's word. You know, if I can't, if I have an appointment with you, Jorge, and I'm running late, hey man, I'm running late. And if I know I'm going to run late, I'm going to call you in advance. Okay? I'm not going to call you at 6:15 and say, hey man, I'm sorry, I'm late.
Or not show up.
Or not show up, man.
Like today, I have two interviews with two people, and they say I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
And they don't. They didn't answer me.
So guess what? That's a blessing for you. That means you don't work with those people.
Yeah, I'm agree. Yes. Just they can forget about me.
Yeah. That doesn't mean you can't have contact with them. That just means you know what kind of people they are.
Yes.
And you know, yeah. You're like this. I'm giving away too much secrets.
What's something you learn running your own business?
Something, what I've learned, man, is responsibility. You know, you got to be responsible. You got to be responsible, man. You just got to live up to your commitments to the best of your ability.
Have you ever felt like quitting?
Oh, sure.
How do you keep going?
All the time. I'm human. There's always, so whatever I want to do, it's truth, man. I got two voices in my head. One saying, Robert, let's start MiDia magazine. Great idea, Robert, let's do it. And then the other guy is saying, you're going to fail. It's not going to work. It's going to go down the drain, right? Or people say, there's a lady that, there's a makeup artist that, because we're doing 4 expos per year. Let me see, what was her name? Sparkle something. Sparkle make. Anyway.
Sparkles by Lou?
Sparkles by Lou.
She was here in one of my podcasts.
Yeah. This is my experience. Mine alone. My experience with that person. She told me I was going to fail.
Oh, wow. Why?
Because we had 4 expos per year. She was my main makeup artist, right? And she felt like it was too many expos per year. And it was stressful for her, I'm sure. But she told me I was going to fail. And that voice is always in my head. It shouldn't be, but it comes to, I'm like, I didn't fail.
Yeah, sometimes we pay too much attention for with the negativity. That maybe 80% is positivity, but the 20% we pay too much attention to that.
Yeah, don't forget about the people that aren't there for you, and pay attention and use. So it goes back to the energy that I use, right? Why do I want to use the energy that with people that are not working with me when I should be using that energy with people that are? It's the same thing with people that give me negative comments. You know, it's how you use your energy. But it comes up driving over here, man. That her came to my head, thinking, "No, I didn't fail, did I?"
It doesn't look like you failed.
Well, I mean, even if I fold this tomorrow and everything ceased to exist, it's not a failure.
No,
I did it.
exactly.
Or we did it, I should say,
Yeah.
because it's not just me, it's
Oh, no.
everybody involved in it. And she was part of it too, man. I have to give her that. And she's a talented makeup artist. And I'm sure she was going through things, you know, because I remember, and I know this for a fact, man. I know I've said terrible things to people in my life. And when I said terrible things to people in my life, is because I was going through some stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So I get it, you know. Just, and I remember my parents telling me that I was never going to be a photographer. Yeah, because.
But also your mom tell you like you can achieve everything.
That was when I was younger.
When you get older, they tell you that.
Oh yeah, because then I'd become a jerk teenager and know everything and stop listening and get into trouble. And you know, I wasn't the poster boy of Goldilocks, man. You know,
But you know, it's part of life.
It's part of life.
It's part of your getting independency.
Yeah, and they were proud of me afterwards. You know, after I was very persistent, because we had to go through a lot of things for me to be a photographer. My whole family. Yeah.
So you never been like an employee?
Not really, not for long.
You're really was your own boss.
Yeah, I learned how to color print on paper using a color lab. I taught myself, and I stopped my photography for about 2 weeks and went to work for a 1-hour photo lab and learned some basics of color printing, and then quit them and went back to doing my own thing.
That's impressive, because many people want to do that. Like they want to quit their jobs and start doing this business, and it's hard. If you're a hard worker, you will achieve good things.
Well, I mean, at the beginning of this year, man, it was tough, bro.
But every year is like that. So
not like this year.
Usually you need to save when it's a lot. You need to save for.
And that's exactly why I survived it.
Yeah, that's a smart thing, right?
That's exactly why I survived it, because of the piggy bank.
Yes.
Yeah.
What inspires you the most?
What inspires me the most, man? Oh, man, what inspires me the most?
Me.
You inspire me. I see me in you. What inspires me the most is knowing who I am. That's what inspires me the most.
Knowing who you are.
Knowing who I am.
And how it happened?
By that awakening. By that awakening. Any questions that I have or had, I know all the questions that I've had about my being have been answered, and any questions that I might come up will be answered. So
that's deep.
It is. It's true. You know, so I'm not religious. Okay, I'm spiritual. There's nothing that comes. So there's a difference between believing and knowing. Believing, there's still a possibility. There's a little possibility that maybe not. But to know as a conviction for sure, that's freedom. So this is what I know for a fact. I know that there's something greater than me. That's given, right?
Yes.
Something greater than me. Because if I think I'm greater than this universe, there's something wrong with me up here. So if anything, this universe is greater than me, right? There's something greater than me. The realization that that greatness resides in me. It's not it's everywhere. It's not separated from me in heaven, because that kingdom, that greatness is here. There's no separation. I don't need to go to anybody to reach that greatness because it's here. So anytime I'm in trouble, anytime I'm saying, oh God, please help me, give me the courage, why this and why that, you know what he says? What that greatness says, that thing that's in me says, stop asking me for things that I have already given you. As soon as you were born, you've had it. Stop asking me and start using it. Because when I'm asking, that's putting off the responsibility from me and giving it to him. He's not responsible for my crap. Yeah. I'm responsible for my crap. So that brings me a lot of peace, man.
Yeah. What is something that you're thankful about?
What I've learned is to be thankful for the here and now. So right now, I'm thankful that I'm here talking to you. I'm so thankful for that.
Enjoying time, right?
What's that?
Enjoying like at the time, enjoying the moment. Or not.
The greatest sin for me is not to be present. Not to be present. So anything that takes me away from being present, that's the sin. That's bad. That's not good for me. Or not bad or good. That's not what makes me happy. Because I want to be present. Because in my past, I wasn't always present. I got to be present. And by being present, man, there's so much. Yeah, that awakening, those eyes open. I know it gets deep, but that's if only we were taught that. If only I was taught that from an early age, then all of some life's challenges could have been. You know, I had a thought last night was, man, I feel good. Right?
Great, yeah.
Man, I feel good. Everything's good. Yeah, I just felt this overwhelming peace, right? Like I could breathe. But then I thought, why can't I have that? I want that peace, that calmness, that feeling. I want that when things are not going good. Why can't I have it then? And it's because I'm thinking, because I'm not trusting in myself. I'm not trusting in that power that if anything I can count on is change. Crap will change. So that's what I strive for in life too, man, is when things are rough, that I need to, everything will be okay, man.
Yeah. What's your dream for the future?
My dream for the future, man, is if I want to be materialistic and, you know, Colonel Sanders didn't get famous till after he was 60. Colonel Sanders of Churches, not Churches, Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh, yes.
Not till after his 60s, right? My biggest dream would be for this to be like worldwide.
Oh, that would be amazing, yes.
Shoot. And to keep that integrity of that community, of that network intact. That's first and foremost of everything. You gotta, yeah. Yes. I don't want to be different from everything else.
That's so nice. Any message you'd like to share with young creatives?
Oh, man, I admire y'all. It's hard to be creative. When you say creatives, you mean in general, not just social media.
Yes, in general.
Okay, for creatives, put on your blinders at times. Meaning, I had to keep your focus, but keep your focus, but open your eyes. Meaning, keep your focus. Don't listen to what people are going to critique you about. The naysayers. Oh, you're not going to do it. There's no way you can do it. But keep an open mind. Okay? And I think the creatives today have a way more open mind than my generation, right? Because it's weird because I can be a conservative, but I can also be liberal. You know, people have a right to live the way they want to live, man. You know? if it's not, you know, who am I to say you're living your life wrong, right? Or who am I to say? And I had this discussion yesterday about perception, about looking at someone else's work and critiquing them, right? Well, because someone might look at my work and think it's crap, you know? Who am I to say? So keep an open mind, man. Keep an open mind and move forward and look at other people's paths, and maybe you can find your way too.
Well, Robert, thank you so much.
I talked a lot. Good job.
I appreciate your time. I really enjoyed this conversation. It was very, very great.
Yeah, I might save this for my kids, right?
Thank you so much, Robert.
That was crazy, man. Thank you, man.
How people can find you for your photography work for MiDia magazine?
So if you want to find me on social media, look for RG Productions, photography, video, across all platforms. You can find rgpro1.com. That's my website. MiDiaMagazine.com is our magazine website. And you can just find us on social media, man. Or call Jorge. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Robert.
Thanks, man.
Bye.